Irish rallying in the late 70s and the early 80s, and events like the Circuit of Ireland and the Ulster Rallies brought the world's top rally drivers in their full factory machines to Irish soil. The glory days, and it was such a coup to have rallying greats and world champions competing on our closed roads. But even though the organisation has been world-class in Ireland for years, it has never had a World Championship rally. Not until 2007, that is. Rally Ireland has been granted World Championship status. And now the new generation of stars will be competing on the Irish tarmac in a full World Rally Championship round.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, after doing Donegal recently as well, you just realise what an atmosphere and how important the sport is to Ireland. Fantastic roads, very fast, and I think it's going to be a real spectacle, and delighted that Ireland have got it.
Just going there, the atmosphere is always brilliant, so I think to get all the world cars there and all the world class drivers, it'll just raise it up even more. So no, I think it's going to be very exciting.
Congratulations to everybody in Ireland for fighting so hard for, what really is an obvious choice for us that compete there, because there's such cracking events, cracking rallies, and they get supported, and the organisation is second to none, so why not?
In fairness, hats off to everybody involved to get two governments to work as hard for a particular sport and for rallying in general, because this is a dream for me to see World Championship drivers on Irish soil. I think it's a brilliant thing.
Not since the outlandish Group B era has Irish rallying looked so exciting, as next year we will once again get to see our local heroes and be able to compare their times with the world's best. And this is where our heroes hone their skills, the Pirelli Irish Tarmac Championship, as it reaches round 5 in Scotland, the Jim Clark Memorial Rally. Beautiful Berwickshire on the Scottish borders, and Kelso is once again the starting point of this traditional Irish-English Championship head-to-head. This rally has been in the Irish tarmac calendar since 2003. The WRC machines abound, but not from the British Championship runners this year, as Group N is now the premier class in the British Series, leaving the Irish contingent to take all the front-running places on the start ramp.
Eugene Donnelly is, of course, currently leading the Irish Tarmac Championship with 50 points. Can he win the Jim Clark Memorial? He's done exceptionally well so far this year. Disaster only in Donegal.
A fiery 6th in Donegal, but wins in Galway and on the Circuit of Ireland, and a 2nd in Killarney keep last year's champions very much in the lead of the 2006 race.
And 9 points behind Eugene on 41 points is Eamon Boland, Mr. Consistency himself.
Eamon has really taken to forward power, and he has so far scored 2nd place in the Galway and Circuit of Ireland rallies and a troubled 5th in Killarney and Donegal.
It's halfway through the championship now, so it's all still to play for.
It is still to play for, and you have been consistent, and consistent can take the championship.
I suppose you can only take it if you're consistent. If the rest of them have problems, really. There's 4 rallies to go, so hopefully we'll do the business in a few of them.
Well, 3rd in the championship with 30 points is Derek McGarrity. He's due a win, and he's got the new car. Could he be the man to watch?
A new car and a new co-driver this weekend. Tralee's Diarmuid Falvey. With no wins since last year's Circuit of Ireland, the Belfast man must be very keen to get back on the top of the podium.
We've no option. We need to win the rally. Obviously, Eugene's going to go very hard. Eamon's going to go very hard. Gareth Jones going to go very hard. But we'll just go a bit harder.
Derek leaves the start ramp at number 2. But one man not leaving the Jim Clark start ramp is Tim McNulty, the Killarney winner, hospitalised days before the rally with a burst appendix.
But could a Welshman competing in the Irish Tarmac Championship in Scotland upset the apple cart?
Young Gareth Jones has shown great turns of speed this season, albeit punctuated by a few excursions. 4th places in the Circuit of Ireland and Killarney rallies have shown Gareth's speed.
I think this is probably one of our best chances to get a win, hopefully. Just level playing field, really. So we'll see.
Running at car number 5, he enters this playing field of 21 special stages, 6 of which are to be fought out on the first Friday afternoon leg.
Eugene Donnelly and Paul Kiley are first onto the opening Abbey St Bathans special stage.
Brake for slight left, to 3 right over crest.
The McGarrity driver has never won this Scottish encounter, and with 3 times winner Andrew Nesbitt missing off the starting list, 2006 could be his best chance so far.
Flat left 40, flat right over crest 60.
Eugene is putting the footprints of the modern tyre service Corolla all over the Berwickshire countryside in his efforts. A customary slow starter, Eugene and Paul Kiley are making a fast start this time.
Flat crest and flat crest 40.
But at times, the Corolla doesn't want to slow down.
Square right. Watch the clear. 130.
In spite of the brake problems, Eugene is 3.4 seconds up on the first test. And on stage 2, the 8-mile Edrum test, he'll once again jump to the top of the timesheets.
60. Flat crest 80. Care. Big jump. Into dip. Big crest jump okay at 60. Big crest jump into dip. 3 right over crest jump.
The third test is the famous Langton Spectator Stage. Just 1.5 miles long, and Eugene commands a 10-second lead at this early point. Second on the road, Derek McGarrity has reverted back to an S10 Subaru. His silver S11 sold. His new co-driver, Diarmuid Falvey, is deputising. With a lot to learn, Derek is settling into the new combination well, and is third fastest on the first Abbey St Bathans stage, dropping just 10 seconds to Eugene Donnelly. To keep any championship hopes alive, however, Derek knows he must put his Subaru in front of the car in front. Stage 2, Edrum, and part of the unique character of this rally is this interesting diversion through a farmyard. And Derek creates his own diversion at this hairpin left. With the second fastest time here on stage 3 at Langton, the new combination is an early third, just 13 seconds off rally leader Eugene Donnelly. Eamon Boland's car is set up in Kelso by the Dom Buckley team, and it appears to be well dialed into the Borders roads. Eamon, second in the points, is second fastest on the opening Abbey St Bathans stage, just 3.5 seconds slower than Eugene Donnelly. And he's just 10 seconds off the lead after the first loop. Welshman Gareth Jones doesn't have to cross the water this time to compete. He's in early fourth. He's 18 seconds off the lead and unhappy with his car setup. Former Scottish champion Barry Johnson is making a rare tarmac appearance, but he's 3 minutes down already after a broken turbo pipe and a broken drive shaft in the first 2 stages. John Cope is a regular Jim Clark competitor in his ex-Andrew Nesbitt Impreza, and like the other World Rally Car entrants, he's registered for the Pirelli Tarmac Series to give them a chance to exercise their World Rally cars. John Ingram is exercising his 2002 Focus WRC vigorously, 5th overall, and spectacular to watch. The Stobart colours are now very prominent in motorsport, and this Focus 04 WRC is being piloted by one of the company's directors, William Stobart, who's in his first WRC Focus drive. He's 12th until the Langton test, when the car cut out for 4 minutes with a throttle problem, dropping him back to 38th. Also in Stobart livery, last year's Ford World Championship driver Roman Cresta in his Works Super 1600 Fiesta. He lies second to Guy Wilkes in the category. Junior World Championship driver Guy is really pushing his older Suzuki Ignis and is an amazing 8th overall, having been 5th fastest on the first 13-miler, just a second a mile off Eugene Donnelly's time. Scotsman Barry Clark is in the other Works M Sport Fiesta, but the Langton Water Splash makes this 1600 look not so super. The Ford splutters to a halt in the Ford, and the delay costs him a place in the category. Darren Gass in his privately run Fiesta has also been suffering a cutting out engine, this time when he pushes the clutch. Brian O'Mahony put in a couple of very quick times to lie third overnight, ahead of James Wozencroft's Suzuki in fifth.
The Jim Clark Memorial Rally, the event held in memory of the racing great, who also traversed the special stages in the RAC Rally, but conditions, thankfully, are not typically RAC Rally this weekend. Stage 4 and rally leader Eugene Donnelly has taken a gamble on softer Kumo tyres.
Watch your brakes for the finish. Okay. 18 quicker. That tyre works well there, doesn't it? Very good.
Very good, brilliant maybe, as it takes 12.5 seconds off Derek McGarrity on his second running of the Abbey St Bathans stage.
Flat one left. And flat right and left into two left.
The trend continues, and brother Charlie's advice to go on the softer tyre has paid off, as Eugene now holds a 34.8 second overnight lead.
They weren't the wrong tyres, they were exactly the tyre you would do normally, but the roads here just, there's a different, I don't know, there's something different in them, like we were fastest on them, so there's nothing wrong with the tyres, you know, but by going back a step on the compounds, it just made a difference, you know.
Derek McGarrity is a bit disconcerted by a jumper battery rattling around the inside of the Subaru on the Abbey St Bathans stage, but nevertheless, he is second fastest. Derek is trying hard and using all the countryside here on the Edram stage. But he's dropped time all afternoon, and any outside championships hopes are fading away.
Stages tomorrow, but you know, Eugene has a 30-second lead, but it's by no means over. You know, tomorrow morning we just have to pick up the pace, and it's a new car, it's a new co-driver. Don't get me wrong, both of them is working very well, but you know, it just maybe take a minute or two. We'll just have to try a lot harder tomorrow morning.
Nevertheless, Derek has moved up a place at the expense of Eamon Boland, who's grappling with a puncture here on stage 4. He slides down the leaderboard like his brake pedal does to the floor here, dropping him over a minute.
The handbrake wouldn't work when the brake pipe was gone. I didn't know it wouldn't work. Yeah.
Well, it's still, I mean, it's a shame you've had the problems because, but it's a long way to go.
Yeah, I think we're about a minute behind Derek and a minute and 36 behind Eugene. So sure, we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Keep that Jones boy behind you.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
But Gareth Jones is well behind, having bent his steering arm on stage 5, dropping him from 4th to 12th.
That car's quite bright, isn't it?
Had a bit of a coming together with a chicane in one of the stages, and we bent the rack. So halfway through the second stage of the last loop, we had to drive it out. So we lost about a minute there. We probably would have lost about quite a bit on the last one. Although it was only 2k, but I couldn't steer the thing round. But tomorrow's a long day.
A long day indeed, but one that Gareth doesn't take part in, electing to save his Subaru for future events.
Glorious weather once again blesses day 2 of this event. And again, the spectators are out in force for the 16 special stages which make up the day's action. Eugene Donnelly starts the opening Buxley stage.
Walk it right, 2 right over crest, propshaft, 3 right.
That's a disaster, as the Toyota is now front-wheel drive only. A broken prop shaft means Eugene is scurrying through the loop of 3 tests with 21 stage miles in 2-wheel drive. The total delay costs a minute and 14 seconds, but the crew are just relieved to make it back to service for the McGeehan team to pounce on the Esca Corolla.
Done. We got here anyway.
Derek McGarrity can hardly believe his luck and sets fastest time on the opening day's test by just 0.3 of a second.
Flat crest 200, 4 left plus small cut, 4 left plus small cut into right 100.
After the morning's 3 stages, he now commands a 40-second lead over Eugene.
Minus to right,
How the tables have turned.
150. Crest 500.
But things could have been tighter for Derek, as Eamon Boland is just 0.3 of a second slower on the first test and 0.2 of a second faster on the second. But for that puncture, Eamon would have been a real contender. Englishman John Ingram in 6th place is about to retire. The clutch packs in on the Focus. Barry Johnson is also struggling with mechanical problems. John Cook, meanwhile, has had his electrical trouble cured and obviously well waterproofed. He's well off the leaderboard. The Williams Stobart has had 4 impressive third fastest times in a row, a factor that hasn't gone unnoticed by Ford World Supremo Malcolm Wilson and son Matthew. It's still Subaru at the front, and Subaru stalwart Derek McGarrity is setting about maintaining his 40-second lead. The new team is working admirably, and Derek extends his lead by 5 seconds on stage 10. By stage 11, the lead is 45.1 seconds.
Long flat crest, don't lift up here.
Eugene Donnelly has had his Corolla repaired by the McGeehan team. The Macarat Charger is worried, however, about the long-term effects of the problems in the Corolla and is listening intently for any strange noises.
350.
The car has developed some strange handling characteristics, and some serious understeer has crept in. He hasn't started to take back any time.
Just watch the rock on the left-hand side. 250.
In fact, the times between the two front runners are almost a mirror image as we compare them over 2 stages. Derek completes the 5-mile Whiteadder test in 4 minutes 12.2 seconds. Amazingly, Eugene is just 0.1 of a second slower. Now onto the 9.9-mile Blackadder test. Derek stops the clock on 7 minutes 47.1. And incredibly, Eugene records exactly the same time. It's closer than Grand Prix qualifying these days.
He's in front, he's a hard man to beat. I've said that always, you know. If you ever notice any of the rallies that he gets in front of you, he's hard to beat.
As the birds take flight on the border stages, Derek McGarrity is holding an admirable lead, taking a further 2 seconds off Eugene here on stage 14 Fogo.
4A plus opens, 80.
Stage 16, the famous Swindon test, famous for its jumps, and by this stage, with 5 tests to go, Derek has a 43-second jump on Eugene. Eugene Donnelly and Paul Kiley are now putting maximum effort into their charge. They will chop 3 seconds off Derek on the Langton spectator stage, but the visible effort is not translating into huge chunks of time.
And 3 right opens to flat, don't cut. Brake for tight, 3 left cuts. Plus.
Indeed, on Swinton, the little Toyota is taking off. And as Gordon Dunn captures, it's almost off in a big way. Despite the scares, he actually drops 1.5 seconds to Derek. Eamon Boland is consistently just 1 second off the top times in these 3 stages. But with all his problems, he's almost 3 minutes back. Without the problems and going for the lead, it might have been a very different rally for him. There's no question that the Super 1600 leader Guy Wilkes is committed. Guy has practically dominated the class and will finish the rally in a remarkable 7th overall, over 6 minutes ahead of the nearest rival. And the rival, Ronan Creston, punctured here, has also lost 3 minutes with electrical trouble. But he never seriously threatened Wilkes despite some bodywork lightning. Brian O'Mahony's Puma was doing a Reliant Robin impression in stage 9. James Wozencroft would also retire his Suzuki, and Darren Gass Well, how did he not retire after that moment on Swinton Crossroads? The Armagh youngster hang on to be in third place in Super 1600 and take top Pirelli points in the class. No points, however, this weekend for Barry Johnson, or sadly that hard-trying William Stobart who put the focus into the hedge in stage 13. John Cope had a troubled weekend, but still he finishes in 14th place. And at the front of the WRC field, it's an all-Irish affair as Eamon Boland takes third place. Nickling mechanical trouble and that day one puncture blighted the Wexford man's challenge, but he's looking ever closer to scoring the win that has eluded him since Cork in 2003.
You know, the Manx is definitely a long, tough rally, so that'll probably, you know, I say after the Manx it'll be fairly well sorted. Whoever wins that'll probably win the championship.
Eugene Donnelly is used to the winner's circle, but it's his second place in 2006.
Still in the race for the championship, still have the lead of it. Puts Derek back in the hunt as well, so you know, roll on now, man. We'll see what happens.
But for Derek McGarrity and Diarmuid Falvey and the DMG Sport team, it's finally the result that they've been waiting for so long. It keeps the 2003 champion in with a very outside shot of the 2006 championship, and it's a dream debut in the hot seat for Diarmuid Falvey.
Very happy, and Diarmuid was his first time in at sort of this level here, and he did a fantastic job, and just delighted.